The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my shows Monday through Friday from 5 to 9 a.m. in Huntsville on WVNN and in Birmingham from 10 until noon on Talk 90.95. With me, as always, Mecca Music. She is the CEO of 256today.com. Smart news for smart people, but not smart enough not to block the logo behind her. That is true. But we have a lot going on here today. We will be talking with Yaffe. He's got a lot going on. He's got two different radio shows as well. And so he brings a lot to the table here. And I've got a parting shot about a very heated but almost made up issue. So stay tuned for that. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to the 2-minute warning. All right, Mecca, I don't think this is as big of a deal as people are making it. I also think it's been decided for quite some time now. We're just all about assigning blame to whoever is going to be responsible for the Space Command issue being a giant mess. What a week indeed. Let's talk a little bit about this, Mecca. Okay, so you got Tommy Tuberville. He's the guy who's going to get all the blame for this. And I think they're going to try to pin a couple of things on him. The promotion thing, the white nationalist thing, and there's another one which I can't remember off the top of my head, but there is a third thing as well that they are focused on. But he is out there fighting the good fight. He is out there making this a struggle. I think the Biden administration decided they were going to do this, and now they're just looking for a reason. And Tommy Tuberville's given them two pretty good ones here recently.
Listen, all of Alabama, Tuberville absolutely fighting a good fight. All of Alabama leadership, though, has been out there, even Sewell, saying Biden, don't bring politics into this decision. I thought that was very, very strong statement for her to come out and talk to her party, the Democrats, and say, hey, don't do this. I thought that was very powerful. Now, here's another aspect I don't know if everybody has considered. If you're going to bring abortion restrictions and states into that, it's not just Alabama versus Colorado anymore. What about Texas? What about Florida, who also have huge presences?
Also, what about Redstone Arsenal? We got to pick that up. Rucker, we got to pick that up. Do we got to do all those things?
If that's what is going in to decide these sort of issues, this is a lot bigger than just Huntsville or Redstone.
Might I also make another recommendation that reason why they worry about it? When President Dale Jackson takes office, I think we're going to turn Alabama just into a giant military installation, and all those bases in California and my old stomping grounds up at Fort Lewis in Washington. Sorry, taxes are too high there. Don't like it. Cost of living for the soldiers too much. They're going to have to come home. Also, just the focus on abortion here really blows me away. I'd like to see a study done that shows me how many abortions people connected with the Space Command are having. Because in order for this to be such a huge issue, you would think that.
Listen, it is an important issue for a lot of people, and I don't think you can deny that.
I can
but
deny
to base this decision on that it's not wise.
Allow me to be clear. I deny it. Look, when I was in the military and they told me to go to Fort Lewis, I didn't go. Not really liking the weather there. Guess I'm not going to go. No, you went and you did what you were supposed to do. This is all of this is garbage. It's political. It's already been decided. The die has been cast. Whatever's going to happen has already been decided. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about this sales tax here for a second. Oh, sales tax for food across the state, 4 cents. We're going to take care of it. No, now we're down to 1 cent. That's what we're down to now because reasons. I mean, let's just be real. I guess the multi-billion-dollar surplus in the education trust fund isn't really enough. We need to have a bigger surplus there. Well, maybe so we could do school. No, we can't do a school choice. Maybe a bigger rebate. No, we can't do any of that. So status quo for the school system, but we'll cut 1 cent. I mean, look, if the rebate goes from $400 to from $200 to $400 to $100, and this goes from 4 cents down to 1 cent, and there's no tapering off, which it looks like there's a real possibility that there's nothing that says 1 cent now and then down the road something else. It looks like they're going to say 1 cent.
But I think that is the goal. Don't shortchange. Get it? The effort. I think that is the goal.
Well, you shorted what I was going to say.
Okay.
So let me try this again. If in the thing it says 1 cent and then we'll move to further down the line in a piece of legislation, great. If they say 1 cent, maybe we'll revisit this later. I'm not so sure that shows anything. I mean, these guys are gambling. I really think they are gambling with the trust of the people right now. They've made a lot of hay about. I made a lot of hay about school choice.
No, it's been a legitimate political chant, but it has never moved past that.
But they've also been very clear. A lot of legislators have been like, it's very hard, probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But the sales tax and the food and the rebate, those were almost slam dunks.
Yes.
But maybe they think that they've done enough social issue stuff that makes those people happy and they can kind of ride on that. Maybe that's possible. But I'm telling you, the thing I keep hearing about, grocery tax, rebates, these are the things people care about. Grocery tax more than I think anything else.
No, I think so. And I think, just everybody in Alabama wants this to be a thing. So I also would think a lot of people would be disappointed if they fall short of that goal.
Yeah, I agree completely. All right, let's talk about Alabama Democrats. Wow, what a mess this thing has become for them. A couple years ago, the National Party said, hey, you guys aren't playing enough identity politics. And they're like, what? We're Alabama Democrats. That's literally all we do. And they're like, no, you got to play a different kind of identity politics. You got to play with the LGBTQ groups, the Native American groups, the one-legged groups. You got to play with all sorts of these different groups that fit into these different molds. And they said, fine, we'll play these little games with you until we don't have to anymore. And it feels like they think now they don't have to. And now you got a big problem because you have the head of the Alabama Republican Party, Democratic Party, who says, no, we're not doing this anymore. You have the number two in the Alabama Democratic Party who is like kind of a national style Democrat making waves with Tabitha Eisner. You have the National Party and Doug Jones saying, hey, you got to put these identity groups back if you want to have a presidential primary. If they don't have a presidential primary, I don't know if they're ever going to rebound. I just don't know. I mean, they're such players now that could you imagine them falling even further with no presidential primary? I mean, it's just what a disaster that would be. I mean, God, you could be looking at the next election where they might have like a super minority of both chambers and no statewide offices.
No, you're making fun of it, but this is a big deal, and this is something that needs to address. However, current party leadership, besides the number two, as you mentioned, doesn't seem really that willing to reinstate these.
They're openly hostile to it. What do you mean they're not willing to? They actively went out of their way with a poll tax, voter ID, and by They said, okay, everyone stand up. And then they counted like half of them, like, motion passes. I mean, literally, they can never talk about voter fraud, voter identification. Oh, wait, that sounds like my charges from a couple of years ago. They can't talk about any of that and have any credibility based on what they've done here. No presidential primary for Democrats?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. This is a big deal. You are making a lot of funny jokes about it, but this is very serious for the Alabama Democratic Party.
But importantly, those were funny jokes.
They were
That's
funny.
the most important thing. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about John Durham. Big deal, no deal. I would argue big deal turned into no deal. I mean, immediately downplayed. You had one moment of clarity in, I would say, the national mainstream media, where Jake Tapper looked into the camera and says this sort of vindicates Donald Trump. And he made the argument that he said, yep, the FBI was coming after me for no reason. And lo and behold, the FBI was coming after him for no reason. Now, Donald Trump also created a bunch of his own problems in this regard. The firing of Jeff Sessions. When Jeff Sessions, as he told me multiple times, I literally told Trump, don't worry about it. We all know you did nothing wrong. Just shut up and let this thing play out. Instead, he kind of spun all this thing up. It made it bigger and bigger. But I would be mad, too, if they were accusing me of things I didn't do.
Yes.
And now, the next day, they're now running with some story. He's trying to sell pardons. I mean, how many times do you cry wolf before everyone says, okay, enough? This is just helping Trump. But I'll tell you why conservatives are mad about this. They're mad about it because it's like, oh, look at all these bad things that happened. Who got punished? Well, let's see. Peter Strzok got punished because he got fired. Andrew McCabe got punished because he got fired. And now they're both on MSNBC and CNN commenting on this and saying it's not a big deal. John Brennan, James Clapper still doing their thing. Adam Schiff still doing his thing. Eric Swalwell still doing his thing. Nancy Pelosi still doing their thing. No penalties. So I would say it's a big deal, but it's also no deal.
I agree completely. That's exactly what I was going to say. That yes, is it a big deal? Is anything going to come from it? No, not really. I mean, obviously.
I mean, they literally got away with it.
But
I'm sorry. This is like robbing a bank. And then 5 years later, someone will be like, yeah, they robbed the bank. And they'll be like, but you can keep the money.
I don't know about that. I think it is.
It impacted 2016, 2018, 2020, 2022. It impacted all of those elections. So Hillary Clinton's gamble that I'm going to plant, that's what happened, a story of Russian collusion has paid off time after time after time after time. And the only penalty is Hillary Clinton didn't get to be president anymore. She just went back to being a terrible person with a lot of money.
Come on. But listen, as far as this it makes Trump people happy, Trump supporters, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, this just fires them up that much more.
All it does is
So it's still a win for Trump.
Oh, of course it is. Of course the main thing is it gives him credibility when he says this was all a witch hunt, because it absolutely was.
Right, and the 10
He's
other
say
times
it anyway,
he's going to say it. Right, he's going to say it anyway.
Right.
But not only on this issue, all the other issues that he's going to say it on, or is saying it on. I mean, this gives it credibility.
Almost every single thing they accused him of, they did. I mean, they derailed an entire presidency after they weren't able to stop him with a made-up thing. And this whole idea that the FBI, we've reformed. I'll buy that if in 2020 they didn't help with the letter that said Hunter Biden's laptop wasn't real. And if in 2023 they weren't asked, hey, do you guys have any documentation about Joe Biden doing this? And they're like, well, we're not talking to you. And then they reassigned the whistleblower. So maybe not. Maybe the FBI hasn't been that held accountable. I'm talking myself into that position. When we come back, Yaffe will be with us, and then I have a parting shot for you. Stay tuned.
You work hard to earn little escapes, because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay, and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. Now look, I love Kias. I've driven plenty of them. I used to have a Kia Sportage. When my son was born, my wife said, no, we got to get ourselves one of these big SUVs. The Telluride from University Kia is an absolutely amazing vehicle. You get it at a great price, but you get everything at University Kia at a great price. Learn more about them today. Head on over to universitykia.com. Find the perfect vehicle for you, new and pre-owned. They got it for you. universitykia.com.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
2 years ago, Alabama made a smart decision to invest in infrastructure and fix our broken old roads and bridges. But we're still awfully stingy about who gets to drive on them. Nearly 170,000 Alabama drivers have lost their licenses because they missed payments on tickets. Support the bipartisan driver's license bill and get Alabamians back on the road. Workers drive Alabama. When we're free to drive, we're free to work.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here, and this is my son, Grant. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. He's a handful, I'm a handful, and if I want to stay married, I need Top Shelf Customized Cleaning to come and take care of my house. They do an amazing job for me, and they'll do an amazing job for you. Cindy loves them, I love them, Grant loves them as well. Check them out on Facebook, Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. And don't forget, call them today, 256-417-9122. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them Grant sent you.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics this week. I'm Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Music. And our guest this week is Yaffe. He's a talk show host on WVNN and WUMP in Huntsville. He's got a new show on, the Yaffe Hour, 2 to 3 every day, Monday through Friday, along with his normal show that is on from 9 until 11. Yaffe, let's talk a little bit about what's going on this week. We were just having a conversation about the Durham report, and I want to talk about that again. My argument, and I'm not sure anyone disagrees, but is basically this is a big deal, but it's a kind of a non-factor other than it just takes a storyline and kind of extends it. Yes, there was a witch hunt. Yes, there was a plot, a deep state plot, and all these other things that have been said all along where it looks like maybe Trump was right. He was going to keep doing that stuff anyway. And now he sort of has a footnote that he can source and say, like the Durham report said.
Yeah, it does offer some credibility to it. I mean, you and I found it credible, but it's hard to go against an official report that lays out in detail what exactly was going on. The biggest problem with it is it took too long. I mean, 3 years to get this done. I mean, a lot of people have moved on in their minds to other things. Plus, there were no real prosecutions with this, and both prosecutions he ended up doing before ended up being, acquitted in court. So I do think, though, overall, especially for the sake of history, it gives credibility to the claims that Trump was making.
Well, and we talked about this earlier, Yaffe. Does that credibility, the claims that you were just speaking of, I mean, this will help that. I mean, him going forward and anything else that they say, this just kind of gives him more ammunition.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it's hard for Trump not to find ammunition to begin with. But now, I mean, this is why you don't do stuff like this, because it just causes more and more people to distrust the justice system. So there could be, like, legitimate investigations dealing with Trump or other issues in the future, and those legitimate investigations will have lost all credibility because they've destroyed their own credibility.
Oh, let me push back on that a second. You absolutely should do this. If you have the opportunity, you should do it because you will get away with it. You will get away with it. You will be allowed to do it. You can do it. You can walk away at the end of the day. And at the end, they're going to issue a report where one guy on cable news goes, this is pretty bad. And the rest go, this was a dud, no big deal. And all is forgiven. Let's move on. Did Trump sell some pardons? I mean, that's exactly what they did. They turned around to another story. So I reject the idea that you shouldn't do it. Look, listen to me, people. Pay attention. You should do this. If you're given the opportunity, absolutely do this.
Well, I was talking about more in terms of the credibility of our institutions, but you're talking about just, selfish interest politically.
Oh, you're talking like moral.
I didn't understand what you were saying, Dale.
So Yaffe's talking about like a moral victory,
right,
which is also known as losing. So I want to make sure we all understand.
You might be right on that with the way this turned out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Congratulations on your moral victory. You were impeached twice, and you might go to jail. So congratulations on your moral victory there. Moving back to the state of Alabama, well, there are three things that Mecca and I have been talking about a lot here on this program: a sales tax, rebate, school choice. These are sort of the three things that I think voters expected the Alabama legislature to take up with a supermajority Alabama.
Or at the very least, Dale expected.
I expect, yeah. I'll take that. That's true. I mean, I love talking about school choice, even though it looks like it's going nowhere. Which one are you most disappointed in? The sales tax might be down to 1 cent. By the time this airs, the rebate might be down to that 37 cents that I suggested because it keeps going down. And the school choice, it looks like they finally got it out of committee and they might get a floor vote or something along those lines. But there are big issues and hurdles, and those legislators, they have a hard time reading the calendar. So here it comes up on the end. It always blows me away. Which one frustrates you more?
Well, school choice frustrates me the most. Now, which one surprises me more, probably the rebate. I kind of thought they would have compromised on a rebate, and it would at least be, $200 or something like that. To already be down to like $100 is like, what is the point of this? Why are we even doing this? But personally, I am just such a big fan of educational savings accounts, the idea and the Price Act. Other states are doing it. It would be nice if Alabama could lead on this issue, and it's just continually frustrating that we don't want to. We don't want to lead on this issue.
Okay, Yeffy, so Dell asked you what you're most disappointed in. What are you most happy about that the legislature has accomplished so far as we get to the end of the regular session?
I do like some of the tough on crime measures, adding penalties, stronger penalties for those who are trafficking fentanyl. Hopefully they'll pass an anti-gang bill. Stuff like that is very, very important because we're seeing a crime problem rising in this country. We're seeing a fentanyl problem, of course, really bad in this country right now. And it's good to be a part of the state that actually wants to solve this issue, fight back against that issue. So that's what I'm happy with the most.
Man, I'm glad you didn't ask me that question because I wouldn't have had an answer.
But I have a follow-up.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, my follow-up is, what do you think about the bill that is currently being debated that would make loitering, some are calling it would make being homeless illegal?
Panhandling.
Yeah, but some are calling it.
Are they saying that?
Well, that was an AL.com headline. Making homelessness illegal in Alabama. What do you think about that bill?
Are you asking me or are you asking Dale?
Whichever one of you would like to chime in.
I think homelessness should be illegal. I'm taking a bold position here. But the anti-panhandling bill, look, I can't turn right to go down to the Walmart near my house without having some guy come out and try to get money from me. I can't walk through the Walmart parking lot without somebody coming up to me and asking me for money. I'm okay with this. Yaffe?
Well, for one, yeah, it's a stupid argument to say it makes being homeless illegal. You can be homeless and not panhandle in the middle of the street. I mean, it's just dumb. But from what I understand, it's become a real issue in terms of traffic safety. Mm-hmm. And we have the homelessness problem is already frustrating in this country. We need to actually do what it takes to solve that issue. But in terms of traffic safety and panhandling, yes, we need to take a stand, put a stop to this before it gets even worse, and I'm all supportive of it.
Yeah, I don't like it. I see it. I hear complaints about it all the time. And like you said, the tough on crime stuff, this is the thing with the Alabama legislature. Yaffe, this will be the last question. Let me see if you agree. The Alabama legislature, I think, has taken this hard line on crime as almost as like a, hey, look at this over here. Don't worry about all this other stuff that we pushed off the table. What do you think about that?
As a distraction? I don't know if it's a distraction. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I think maybe they really believe in this stuff, and it's one of those things where they can unite on. We know we can get this done, where some of the other stuff is just a little bit more divisive. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for now and say, no, they passed it because they really believe in it.
And because it was not easy to do, but easier to do. How about that?
The gang thing blew up, and they never even came back to it. They never even came back and touched it. It became a big thing, and they just were like, let's move that past the thing because we can't talk about the gang thing because that's unfortunate. I mean, I'm sorry.
I just can't say anything nice about the legislature. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, like I said before, I thought it was interesting that she asked you name something positive because I don't know if I would be able to do so. And so maybe you're more optimistic and I'm more pessimistic. Listen to me 5 to 9.
That's a shocker.
Well, I'm just saying.
That's an absolute shocker.
All I'm saying is listen to me 5 to 9 on WVNN, and then Yaffe will give you a smile there, and you can listen to him from 9 to 11. Yeah, there we go. Yaffe, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you. Mecca, thank you so much for being the sunshine on this program. But the show will get much better now that she's leaving. It's Alabama Politics this week.
Have you filed for disability benefits but were denied by the Social Security Administration? Or do you need to apply for benefits and are overwhelmed with paperwork? Are you between the ages of 50 to 63 and can no longer work because of an illness or injury? Thousands of hardworking Americans are in your situation. They file for disability benefits every month and are unnecessarily denied their much-needed benefit check. Call now for a no-obligation, free evaluation. We can help you nearly double your chances of approval and get your benefit checks faster. We understand the physical, emotional, and financial impact and will share our insider expertise. There is a time limit to apply. We're here to help you get your disability claim filed and paid as soon as possible. Please, time is limited. So, if you are between the ages of 50 to 63 and can no longer work because of an illness or injury, Call right now and let us help you file your disability claim with the Social Security Administration.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. Now look, I love Kias. I've driven plenty of them. I used to have a Kia Sportage. When my son was born, my wife said, no, we got to get ourselves one of these big SUVs. The Telluride from University Kia is an absolutely amazing vehicle. You get it at a great price, but you get everything at University Kia at a great price. Learn more about them today. Head on over to universitykia.com. Find the perfect vehicle for you, new and pre-owned. They got it for you. universitykia.com.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here, and this is my son, Grant. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. He's a handful, I'm a handful, and if I want to stay married, I need Top Shelf Customized Cleaning to come and take care of my house. They do an amazing job for me, and they'll do an amazing job for you. Cindy loves them. I love them. Grant loves them as well. Check them out on Facebook. Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. And don't forget, call them today, 256-417-9122. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them Grant sent you.
Other southern states like Mississippi have stopped suspending folks' driver's licenses because they can't afford to pay tickets. Not Alabama. Nearly 170,000 Alabama drivers have lost their licenses because they missed payments on tickets. Hard to take care of your kids if you can't get them where they need to be. Support the bipartisan driver's license bill and get these folks back on the road. Workers drive Alabama. When we're free to drive, we're free to work.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week I'm Dale Jackson. Thank you very much for being here. We'll get to the parting shot here in just a second about some ridiculous stuff that went on down there in the Alabama legislature. Man, I'm so salty about it today. Anyway, you can read my thoughts almost every day at yellowhammernews.com. I put together the 7 things you should be talking about today. And you go there and you sign up. It'll get emailed to you every single day. And you can even go to the website and listen to me deliver the 7 things on my radio show every single day as well. That's yellowhammernews.com. Check them out today. Sign up, watch some videos, all sorts of great stuff going on right there. But for right now, let's go ahead and get to that parting shot. My parting shot this week is directed at a lot of different people. And some are in the news media, some are out. Some work for radio stations, some work for TV stations, some work for print outlets, whatever. There was a situation in a committee hearing in the Alabama legislature where an individual stood up, a male to female transgender, a former veteran, stood up and said to the committee that she had friends at the White House who were calling her and asking her what she thought about moving the Space Force to Huntsville. And then she said that she will be telling them if they pass a bill that defines what a woman is, an adult human female, seems pretty simple. If they have to define that and they pass that bill, she will be telling them do not move to Alabama over that particular bill. Apparently the abortion bill, the immigration bill, the failure to extend Medicaid, the gay marriage bills, the marriage license ending bill, all these other things that they threatened would do these exact same things. Apparently that wasn't enough. Now this one person making a phone call was going to do this. Now it is laughable on its face to think that this decision, which has clearly already been made, was hinging on a bill about what is a woman is just comical. And the fact that it was treated as a legitimate threat is also comical. It doesn't have to be this way. Just because one person doesn't mean that everyone has to do it. We all know better than that. And we shouldn't be saying stuff like that because we're smarter than this. And the audience is smarter than this. And it's unfortunate that these are the kind of things that happen because it was low-hanging fruit. It was simple. It was a video. We had all these things. But it didn't have to happen that way. You could have reported the story. We could have said, hey, look, here's this thing that's being said. But there's very little credibility to this particular argument. I think that was missing from those stories. But you know what? I'm a media critic who deserves to be criticized regularly too. So I'm a big boy. If you feel like that's unfair, let me know. Thank you very much for watching and listening to Alabama Politics this week. We'll be back next week.